If you're building an off-grid setup with a 24-volt, 200-amp-hour battery, you are working with approximately 4.8 kilowatt-hours of stored energy. That's the baseline bucket you need to fill. Look online and you'll usually find a very simple formula. This equation shows that dividing your 4,800 watt-hours by your solar array wattage gives you your total charge time. But the moment you take this laboratory math outside, the equation falls apart. It ignores the massive efficiency losses from heat and wiring. It completely bypasses your charge controller's hard limits, and it pretends all battery chemistries accept a charge exactly the same way. Building a system based purely on these perfect world numbers is the fastest way to end up with chronically undercharged batteries and a system that fails when you actually need it. If you undersize your solar array, a string of cloudy days leaves you without the power to replenish your bank. Over time, leaving batteries partially discharged severely degrades their lifespan. To avoid that, the natural impulse is to just buy the largest array you can afford. This graphic illustrates the problem with that approach. You can push massive amounts of energy down from a large array, but it ends up bottlenecking at your charge controller. Forcing high amperage through undersized equipment will destroy your charge controller. Worse, pushing those continuous high currents through standard wiring creates intense heat and a serious fire risk. Sizing your panels requires balancing how fast you want to recover your power with the hard physical limits of the hardware you're connecting them to. Let's look at how that plays out across 3 different setups. We'll start with a 400-watt solar array. In a perfectly controlled environment, 400 watts takes about 12 hours to refill our 24-volt, 200-amp-hour battery. This matrix breaks down the electrical output. A 400-watt array generates a maximum of 16.7 amps of charge current, but factoring in real-world efficiency, panel heat, dust, and shading, that 12-hour charge time easily stretches past the sunlight available on a typical winter day. The upside is that 400 watts is highly affordable. At under 17 amps, it is completely safe to run on basic, inexpensive charge controllers without upgrading your wiring. The trade-off is that if you heavily deplete your 200-amp-hour battery overnight, this array simply cannot generate enough power to refill it in a single day. This makes a 400-watt setup ideal for weekend use or minimalists with very low power demands who don't rely on rapid daily power recovery. Stepping up to an 800-watt array cuts that theoretical charge time in half, down to about 6 hours. Looking back at our matrix, the 800-watt column shows a significant jump, pushing roughly 33.3 amps of charging current into the battery. That extra capacity does 2 things. It produces enough sheer power to push through typical weather losses, and it provides excess energy to run your daytime appliances while the battery charges. However, running 33 amps continuously means you can no longer use entry-level hardware. Your system's charge controller must be explicitly rated to handle at least 35 to 40 amps safely. You also hit a chemistry limit. Standard lead-acid and AGM batteries should typically only be charged at 10 to 20% of their capacity. For a 200-amp-hour bank, that 33-amp charge rate sits right at the safe upper limit. If your controller and battery chemistry can handle that steady input, an 800-watt array serves as an incredibly practical baseline for daily off-grid use. Finally, we look at a 1200-watt setup, which slashes the theoretical charge time down to just 4 hours. The third column of our matrix highlights the massive power output here. A 1200-watt array pushes over 50 amps of charging current into your battery bank. Moving that much current requires strict infrastructure upgrades. You will need a high-capacity MPPT controller and expensive heavy-gauge wiring to manage the flow without generating excessive heat. You also have to consider your batteries. Hitting a lead-acid bank with 50 amps can severely damage it. This level of power typically demands lithium iron phosphate batteries, which are built to absorb higher charge rates. A 1200-watt array provides excellent winter power recovery, provided you are prepared to pay the hidden costs of upgrading your entire electrical infrastructure to support it safely. We've focused heavily on managing amperage, but cold environments introduce a completely different problem: voltage limits. When temperatures drop below freezing, a solar panel's open circuit voltage surges. This cold weather spike pushes the panel's output well above the nameplate rating printed on the back. If that freezing weather voltage spike exceeds your charge controller's maximum input rating, it will instantly destroy the internal electronics. To capture solar energy safely during the winter, you must buy a charge controller with a maximum voltage rating high enough to absorb those extreme cold weather spikes. Right-sizing your array ultimately comes down to matching these hardware limits directly to your daily usage, rather than just chasing the fastest charge time. This flowchart helps map out the decision. The first question is your primary use case: occasional use or daily off-grid living? For a budget-conscious weekend warrior, keeping your array in the 400 to 600 watt range keeps system complexity minimal. But following the daily off-grid path, 800 watts serves as a reliable baseline, splitting the decision based on battery chemistry. Lead-acid and AGM users should cap their solar input around 800 watts to stay within safe charging limits. Lithium users, with their higher charge acceptance, can safely push onward to 1200 watts and beyond. As you move into those larger setups, you must install properly rated PV fuses, battery breakers, and premium conductors to eliminate fire risks. Before you purchase a single panel, confirm 4 exact numbers: your battery voltage, your battery capacity, your MPPT current rating, and your MPPT maximum voltage limit. Aligning your panel wattage strictly to those 4 numbers is the only way to guarantee a reliable, perfectly sized off-grid solar setup.